Today we are developing some film with the new Real Super 8. Hey, what's up guys, Ruben Arce here with another video for the Cinematography Lab. In this video, we are going to use this product, the Real Super 8 that Vintage Visual sent me for testing. The Real Super 8 allows you to process up to 50 feet of Super 8 film at home. It can be used to process pretty much any type of film, such as black and white, color, negative, and reversal. As usual, I like to offer a lot of information, so this is going to be a long video. Feel free to use the chapter marks to advance the video if needed. The man that you're going to see throughout the video is my friend Carlos. He knows a lot about processing film. I was behind the camera, as usual. The Real Super 8 is composed of two long reels made of 3D printed PETG material. The plastic is translucent, meaning it allows light to travel through it. That is important if you are planning to shoot reversal film. The reel comes with a roller base that can be used to load the film and to rotate the tank when you process the film manually. I shot some film using my Nikon R10. In order to process that film, we have to load it into the reel. Loading a reel can be frustrating. I'll make a video about this topic later, but for now I can tell you that it is possible. It's actually easy. You just have to practice. Study the reel to familiarize yourself with it, see how it works, and make a mental map of it, so you can use that information later when you load the tank in total darkness. Extracting the film from the Super 8 cartridge may seem impossible when you don't know how to do it. There are two methods that I know. One is extracting the film from the front of the cartridge, and the other one is cracking the cartridge open and extracting the entire roll. I will explain this in another video if you guys want. Also, Mike, the Film Boy 24, has some videos about this topic that can help you to understand this part of the process. See the link in the description. You can use a changing bag or a changing tank to load the reel with the lights on. Personally, I find loading the reel in a completely dark room much easier. Obviously, you want the film to be inserted into the grooves so it stays in place and doesn't make contact with itself. At the same time, I try to avoid touching the faces of the film. I handle it by the edges to avoid leaving oil and fingerprints. Loading the tank was easy for me, but I have experience with other reels and I took the time to understand the process. Before processing film for reel, we filled the developing tank with water to see if there were leaks. It may sound dumb, but you want to be able to trust the gear. This is a big tank. Filling it with water and chemicals takes time, and that is going to have an impact on the film when you are actually processing. Also, the tank is long and heavy when filled with water. It's not super heavy, but it is a good idea to practice so you can get used to the feeling of working with it. To start testing the Real Super 8, we processed a film that doesn't require a lot of chemicals or strict control of temperature. We processed some Kodak Tri-X 7266, which is a reversal or positive film. We cross-process it as negative. This is the simplest way of processing film. It requires only two chemicals, developer and fixer, and the process is very forgiving. As long as the temperature is close enough to 68 degrees Fahrenheit, we will get good results. As you can see, the tank is positioned in a horizontal way. That allows us to use a smaller volume of chemicals, 24 ounces or 700 milliliters to be exact. But using this method requires continuous agitation, or in this case, rotation. This process will render a negative image, so we are going to scan the film and invert the image on the computer. Let's do it. Well, that was easy. And we got good results in my opinion. I love the footage. Yes, there is grain. Yes, it is not perfect. But I love the amount of detail and the character of the piece. As a matter of fact, we made a mistake here. We forgot to compensate for the processing time. When you process film using the continuous agitation method, you have to reduce the developing time by 15%. The processing time for Tri-X in D76 is 7 minutes. If we take 15% of that, we should have developed the film for only 6 minutes. The results are not bad, just more contrasty. Also, we got a long scratch all over the film. I scratched the film when I extracted it from the front of the cassette. You have to be really careful if you want to do this. Let's try again. I don't know what you guys think, but I'm happy with the results. Is the film perfect? No, of course not. But I like it. Let's analyze the results of this second test a bit more. We have images, and those images are properly exposed and in focus. The film has some grain. Nothing bad really, but as soon as I start modifying the image digitally, the grain becomes more apparent. Is the grain terribly bad? I don't think so. I mean, we're talking about Super 8 scanned at 5K. There is some flickering in the image. At the beginning, I thought that was caused only by inconsistencies in the agitation or rotation of the tank. But I also noticed we got more watermarks on this batch. Those marks can be perceived as brighter since they wash the image out. We used PhotoFlow, which is a wetting agent, but for some reason, there are still more marks. I purchased a bottle of cleaner and some cleaning tissue. Even when it is not supposed to remove water-based marks, it did so to an extent. It also removed a lot of dust that the film picked up while it was drying. So far, we have an image that we can see on a TV or a computer that looks good in my opinion. But what if you want to project your images in a traditional way, like on the wall? Well, in that case you have to use reversal film and process it using the right chemicals. That will render a positive image that can be projected. As stated before, black and white is a forgiving process. So we are going to continue processing black and white now as reversal before we step into the more challenging color territory. I bought this Adox Scala developing kit. The company sells their own film, and this kit is intended to process their film only, not Kodak products. But pretty much all films are based on the same principles. We snip tested the film until we got decent results. I sent a message to the company on Instagram asking if they had some suggestions on developing times. I'm still waiting for the reply. I guess it was too complicated for them to say something as simple as, "We do not recommend using our products with Kodak film." I went out and shot some more film using the Nikon R10 and Kodak Tri-X film. In this case, I rated the film at ISO 200 or box speed. I captured the images in the way I like to film. Shooting in a traditional way, with the sun behind my shoulder, would have been safe. But I'd rather get interesting lighting than properly exposed images. We scan the film to share the results with you guys. If you want to digitize the film, it's ideal to do so before running it through a projector. Projectors are famous for scratching film. We also wanted to see the film projected in a traditional way, on the wall, like in the good old days. That's something you can do when you shoot reversal film. This is the first time I project a film that I shot myself. What a beautiful experience, and what a difference in perception. Grain is totally unimportant here. It's not noticeable at all. The image also looks very different from the scanned image. The projected image showed a lot of detail in the shadows, but it blows the highlights. Also, the flickering image that is noticeable in the scanned film is almost non-existent in the projected image. Until now, we have been using the reel and the developing tank only to process our films. Yes, the chemicals have to be at the right temperature, and we use the water heater to get them there, but we didn't do anything else to keep the temperature exactly there. Color film is not as forgiving as black and white. Processing color film requires strict control of the temperature during the entire process. It requires much higher temperatures, and the tolerances are very strict. You can't process color film in a large container filled with water. A digital water heater with a thermostat can help you control the temperature, but maintaining the super tight tolerances that color film requires is not going to be easy. Vintage Visual offers a product that solves this problem. Back in 2023, the company launched a crowdfunding campaign for the Ego, a device that solves the problem of maintaining the chemicals at the right temperature. The device does not warm the chemicals up. Instead, it senses the temperature of the chemicals inside the developing tank and compensates using time. This way, the film receives the right amount of exposure every single time. The Ego also has a motor that agitates the film. I mentioned before that inconsistent agitation caused uneven exposure on the film, which translates into flickering in the final footage. Let's see if having constant agitation makes a difference. Let's process some Kodak Ektachrome film. Ektachrome is a color reversal film, so we should be able to project it if everything works as expected. Ektachrome uses a developing process called E6. We are going to use an Adox E6 kit to process the film. The program for E6 is already loaded in the Ego, so I just have to select that option and start the program when ready. To familiarize ourselves with the system and be able to trust it, We tested it using water. It requires some pressure to attach the developing tank to the Ego. Nothing crazy. Once it is firmly secured, it is rock solid. There are no leaks at all. Okay, here we go. You may ask yourself why I was shooting empty boxes and repetitive stuff indoors when I could have shot something outside showing beautiful colors. Well, I did exactly that, but the Super 8 cartridge didn't move at all. I took a lot of nice shots outside with an actress, just to realize later that the cartridge failed. This has been a recurrent issue with Kodak cartridges, and they seriously need to address the situation. By the way, when the cartridge finally decided to work, it did so intermittently. You can see how shaky the image is, also presenting sharpness issues because the film was not stable against the gate. I've been using my modified Work Printer XP to scan the film. This device renders better results than consumer scanners. I can scan Super 8 at a resolution of 5K, and I could scan in RAW mode if needed. Originally, I intended to send the film to a professional lab, but the last time I sent a cartridge, It took more than a month to get it back. I wanted you guys to see ideal results, but this is also a good opportunity to complete the process without sending the film out. When we processed the cartridge of color film, we completed the entire process in less than 3 hours. That means I could shoot something, process it, scan it, and project it the same day. I know some people don't like the images that consumer scanners deliver, but if you don't need super detailed scans, I think a Wolverine or a Kodak Reels work fine. We scanned the film using a Wolverine Pro, and to be honest, I don't think the image is bad. The Wolverine delivers a file that you can see right away and share. It doesn't require any post-production, and those scanners are affordable. You can find a used Wolverine for less than $200. Compare that to the $35,000 that the Blackmagic Cintel, which is considered an entry-level scanner, costs, and you'll see that it's not a bad deal. I hope the video provided enough information for you to form your own criteria. Now, I'm going to share my personal point of view. I think the system is great. It does what it's supposed to do in a simple way. The reel is well designed and easy to use. Using the reel and the tank to process black and white was super easy. No water leaks, no light leaks, nothing. It simply works. I have to say that if you are rotating the film manually, the process is going to be more challenging. I processed some film myself with no help, and it was hard because I had to rotate the tank while also cleaning bottles and washing the funnel. Hanging the film to dry by myself was also challenging. When Carlos helped me, it was much easier. When I used the Ego, the machine acted as an assistant. Maintaining temperature manually is almost impossible, but the Ego took care of that part. I'm not reviewing the Ego in this video, but I can tell you that it is a powerful device. I barely scratched the surface. You can create your own programs and use it to process different films. The device is designed to avoid splashes. Pouring the chemicals in was easy. We performed the entire process in an office space without a single drop touching the carpet. The Ego is not a magical device. For it to work correctly, your chemicals must already be close to the correct temperature, so the Ego can compensate. The only thing that I found difficult to use was the film drying system. It feels like building a house of cards that can fall at any moment. Film constantly wants to curl, so it can get messy. Also, the weight at the bottom can collect water and leave marks on the film. I don't like the idea of having an object in contact with the face of the film that can move and scratch it. I appreciate the fact that Vintage Visual included the hooks and the weight. I wasn't expecting a drying system at all, but if I can't complain about something, this is it. I came up with a method that allowed me to dry the film using the hooks without touching the film. I used the first hook to hang the film, formed the loop, inserted a paper clip into one of the sprocket holes, and attached a clothespin, professionally known as C47. That provided enough weight to keep the film straight without touching the film surface. I saw much better results using the Reel Super 8 than what I have seen with other solutions like the Lomo tank. Is the Reel Super 8 a tool you must have? Only you can decide. Do you shoot a lot of film? Do you shoot often? You can save money by processing yourself. But chemicals don't have a long shelf time. They will decay regardless of if you use them or not. Are you part of a film club or a group of friends who could share it? Are you happy with just projecting film? Or do you need clean and compressed high-resolution files? Do you enjoy the process of developing film? Do you want to see your films quickly? Or are you okay with shipping the film to a lab and waiting for weeks? Those are some questions you may want to ask yourself. The real Super 8 and the Ego system may feel expensive for someone who shoots one roll once in a while, but that same cost makes more sense for someone who shoots a lot of film. As I say all the time, in photography and in cinematography, everything is relative. Thanks for watching the Cinematography Lab.